Welcome to this part of the lecture where we will actually deploy our app on Firebase. And it's a new service of Firebase. It's called app hosting. And let's go and see how this works. So first thing first, let's go to Firebase and build ourselves a project. And usually these projects for this particular service needs a credit card. So please get your credit card and be ready. Let's call it VibeStage. Go on, select the parent resource. In this case, you might not need to because I have this structure. Select the account. It's creating the project for us. So basically in this moment, what we're doing is we're spinning off a whole lot of suite of tools which comes all in one go, like the database, the functions. The functions are basically scalable, runnable code. In our case, we won't need them because we use Next.js and it comes with its own backend. Now, this is Firebase. Welcome to Firebase. You see on this menu, build. In build, you can see all the features that you get off the shelf from Firebase. We'll cover authentication. We'll cover Firestore. We'll cover probably real-time databases because we need a feature for that. And perhaps if we enhance this project further, that people send us selfies, we can also cover storage, like a selfie picture and so on. But obviously in the future, this course is already growing too big. So I'm going to click on app hosting and enable this feature. I need to upgrade, so I'm going to quickly upgrade this to a paid version on this other screen meanwhile. So now it's done. Let's carry on with the next steps. You should be on this Blaze plan in order to be able to use app hosting. Click on Get Started. Select your region. Be careful with selecting the region because you cannot change it later on. So I'm gonna use Europe West 4. Connect your GitHub because this way it will pick the latest changes on your GitHub repository and then it will do the deployments whenever you push new changes to your GitHub repository. I'm going to reuse the one that I have. You may need to install it. Okay, now you need to choose your repository. My repository is not listed here. This is not the right repository. It has that dash that I was doing for my practices before. You need to go on this link, and then from here, you need to select the right one. That is VibeStage without the dash. And once that is done, you can go back to the page where you came from, refresh this list. You should be able to see VibeStage here. Now click Next. Leave that as it is because it has to come from there, like from the root page. And then here, pick main. That's the branch that we want to push to the deployment. And then from here, click on Finish and Deploy. This will fail if you're not using NPM. And I did a little bit of research before I found out that the by default pipeline, so-called pipeline of Firebase do not work with bun. For that, we need to do Dockerization, and that's a little bit of this software Docker. And that is a little bit of complex topics, and I don't want to overcomplicate this course with Docker containers. So right now it's deploying, and already what you can see is that there is a URL generated here. So basically, this is the URL. Once the deployment is finished, we will have access to that will have this web application for us. It will not work yet from across the continents that they click this and then we see it on our screen, because we didn't finish putting that feature yet in place. This is basically what's already happening under the hood when we had our Firebase Studio project running or our Replit project running in the start of this course, where we saw the projects that we had. Maybe I can see if I can open my project again. 14 hours ago, we started this project, and this project had this deploy feature. Actually, let's go to Lovable, because there we had a deployment, and we can see it from there. This emoji wall, it had a publish here, this one. So literally this feature of this, that you have a link, you can send it to your friends. It's on the internet. It's a full-fledged deployed application. This particular one is the one that we are right now trying to deploy here, and it gives us an error. And let's try to resolve this error together. Exactly the error that I was talking about. It is missing a so-called dependency lock. This is a good time to know what is a dependency lock. In order to reduce the distraction, I'm going to close that. If I type L here, you will see that I have this so-called bun lock, but I need something else. I need a npm lock. Therefore, I need to have npm also installed. So I'm going to do npm install. This will now generate an npm or a package lock for me, this one. And this package lock is something that my repository will be able to work with. So I'm gonna rebase. Okay, everything is latest. I'm gonna push. And I'll just create a new rollout on the latest commit on the top of the repository. This time it should work. Meanwhile, this is going on. What I would like to take your attention to is in the Firebase app hosting documentation. When you go here, you will find out how to initiate it. So let's do that in our project. I'm gonna click that, and then first thing first, let's actually do a Firebase project. Firebase, you may not have the CLI, I just realized. Same concept, go to ChatGPT, and then ask ChatGPT, show me how to install Firebase CLI. So we need to install the CLI command line interface for Firebase, which is this tool. Copy this, paste it. I already have it. It will not install it, but you get the point. So not sure why the copy didn't work. So you install the Firebase CLI. Maybe you need to restart your terminal in order for the CLI or the Firebase command to work. It's okay, ignore that error. I don't need it because I already have it installed here. And then you need to do this Firebase auth login, or is it Firebase login? I think it's Firebase login. The Google auth login, it's a different one. So I'm already logged in, otherwise you will be taken to a web application where you need to log in. And then you need to do this Firebase projects list. You will find your project on this list. So I have my project here on the list. Copy the one that is on project ID and only the ID of your project. And then Firebase use and then paste that ID of the project that you have. Now this project well, actually, it is saying that this directory I'm in is not a Firebase project. If I list, I still don't see that it is selected. Otherwise, it will be in green color. But that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to init app hosting. So I'm going to do Firebase init app hosting. And yes. Yes, this folder, it's a Next.js application. Oh, it's trying to clone the whole Next.js project for me, but that's so kind of it, but I don't want that. Anyways, so let's go to here and let's see what it do. Actually, I think it created the entire project for me, another project. Yeah, exactly. So it created a whole new project for me, which is not what I'm looking for. This is the perfect time for us to use the git stash. So you can see that it created a whole bunch of project information, but exactly what I'm looking for is this file, app hosting. That's it, nothing else. I just need this file, which is already on our documentation roadmap. It's gonna come over there. But it's not a bad idea that we can literally copy just that file, paste it here in a new file, and then use git stash feature that we have learned last time. Now it removed all the things that it added. I'm going to also git stash this extra feature in git stash that includes untracked file, so that it removes all the files that it added. So literally that app init, this npm init app hosting went south because we were already in an existing project. So I'm going to do just npm Firebase init, so that we can get the Firebase stuff. And then I will select app hosting from here. We'll use the existing project in here, which is going to be our VibeStage without, I think it's this one, without the spaces. Okay, dokie. Now this created all the files, and I believe, okay, perfect. It already created the YAML file, so we don't need to use this one that was generated by the documentation of Google Docs. Well, Google Docs has documentation that is outdated probably. Anyways, let's check our deployment status. How is that thing going? It's still perhaps missing some, there are some errors, but since now we have this one, let's quickly push this. Added app hosting.yaml. This will trigger a new deployment. And because we are on the main branch and we push something, I'm expecting this page to start a deployment. There we go. It started a deployment, added app hosting YAML. And you can also start a new deployment from here, create rollout. But this one probably will solve the problem because we have connected our GitHub with this Firebase app hosting previously. And when this deployment is done, you should see this page change into the page that we have created, or the web application that we have created. Finished, but it gave us an error. If I go here, I can see the error details. I have already done that. The details were, and I already fixed it. It was that it was missing a font that it was using, or that Next.js boilerplate that we used was missing. I removed that font. Now the build is working, and I'm gonna push it one more time to the production with this new commit, and this new commit should trigger a new deployment on my server, which is happening. And then we wait for this to finish. Hopefully this time it's going to work and we get something on this URL. The deployment is done. We have this link. Although there was a small issue which I would like to drag your attention to, it was still colliding with the bun and npm package log. I had to run this command in order to delete all the package logs and node module folders, and then install it again, and then push it, and that fixed the problem. Now we have this link. If you open it, we see this feature that we have built literally on the internet, and it is on an actual website that we can send to people and they can use it. So that pretty much wraps up this part of the tutorial, where we created like a deployment pipeline, a CI/CD, a continuous integration, continuous delivery. Well, it's not the CD part, but it's at least the CI part that allows us to bring any changes and then push it, and then it automatically updates that change. That automatic update of the change is something that you will get to know in the next lectures. So whenever we change something here, we go to the terminal, we do this git push feature. We don't need to do anything else. It will automatically start deploying it to that link. And then in the next lecture, we'll also see how we can put it together with this website address called vibestage.emilsire.com. Until then, thank you so much for your attention. See you later.